Hello, this is Deborah Yah with Redirecting, and I have a very interesting story, another DNA testing story where there's a Linwood man who tried to use a home DNA test to qualify as a minority business owner. He was denied, and now he is suing. So apparently his DNA test shows that he is 4% African American or 4% black. That's what they said, 4% black. And so with that 4%, he believes that he is entitled to a minority business loan. Now, you see, that is the problem with these DNA tests, is because people are using them in all types of scams and all types of other things as well. In an earlier video, I talked about how a DNA sample was sent in from a dog, and they claimed that the dog had 20% Native American DNA. And so DNA testing right now is kind of iffy, very, very iffy right now. And so we should be very careful because it is now being used against us as well. Many times minorities have a difficult time getting those loans. So now, hopefully, this man isn't going to set a precedent, because if he wins this case, then as we talked about in a previous broadcast or a previous video, we showed you where anyone on the planet Earth can prove that they have some so-called black or African DNA in them, because that is where mankind originated. So yes, you will have some of that in your DNA makeup. That is where we all came from. But in using these DNA tests to prove this, if this man wins this case, he will be setting a precedent for future cases and where minorities will not even get the loans. I remember a long time ago, I applied for a minority loan in the city of Detroit. I went downtown and I presented myself, of course. And I was told right there on the spot that, well, these particular minority loans are for Asians. And so when I heard that, I'm like, so a minority loan that me as a minority don't have access to? So we see what happens. We've always known that in the city of Detroit, they give these loans to these other nationalities that come into our communities, and they set up shop right in our communities, while at the same time telling us we can't get access to those loans. So this opens up another market. If white people can now say, look, I have 2%, 3%, 4%, 5% black DNA, 6% DNA from blacks, then I need this minority loan. If they can set a precedent where they are now getting access to these loans, then that completely shuts us out, because, again, I was denied access to a minority loan when I lived in Michigan, and I applied for one, or I tried to apply for one. They simply told us that they were for Asians coming into the country. And so, again, the chips are basically stacked against us wherever we go. Whatever we try to do, unless we put our faith and trust in the Most High Yah. That is what I say, wait on Yah in all things. Because he says, if a man's ways be found right in his sight, even your enemies will be at peace with you. And so I'm so grateful and so thankful to the Most High. So thankful to him for the understanding of things that we need to pay attention to and look at closely. It's very important that we look at end-time prophecy. Perilous times are coming. Perilous times are here. So much is happening. So much deception. We are surrounded by it. We are literally surrounded by deception. When that sister wrote the script to the movie Matrix, I'm telling you, she has some very deep insight, because we are literally stuck in a matrix. Nothing is as it seems. And we're looking at everything on the surface, and we're not looking above and beyond what is on the surface, in which we've got to start doing that, family. Things are deeper than what's on the surface. You have to go underneath the surface to explore what is really going on. And see, a lot is revealed in biblical prophecy. A whole lot is there if we pay attention. The enemy is going about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. You have those that are deceiving others and being deceived at the same time. So much is happening here. And so when we begin to put our faith in these wicked industries and we send all this money. There's no telling how much money these companies make doing these DNA tests. They are appealing to people's hope and desire to find out who they are. So people are sending in this money. They're raking in billions of dollars and they're being fed false hope because, you know, even if you can prove that you have Native American blood, there's supposed to be some type of loans or grants that you can tap into. But again, even with that, they are not making that available to us, you see. And I feel like they're manipulating the test to whatever direction they want them to go in, because how can there was a woman who sent in DNA samples to two different areas, two different facilities, and she got two completely different results. Two different results. And so we've got to keep in mind who we are dealing with when we are dealing with these organizations. They are not always fair, right, and honest. I don't care who the organization is, where it is. They are not always fair, right, and honest. And so you're essentially pouring your money down the drain. In my opinion, I do see that DNA can help when trying to determine if someone was present at a crime scene or if they committed the crime. I can definitely see that. But as it relates to determining who you are, science is showing that is not feasible, or it's not even true that you can scientifically determine your ethnicity based on DNA. And, you know, a lot of people may not agree with that, but based on getting the other article that I read earlier in another video, based on them getting DNA results that showed someone as Native American when they were actually samples sent in by a dog, I say question everything. Okay, family? With that, I will say shalom.